Hey folks, my guest today is Tanuvi Ethanandan. She's the co-founder and CEO of Data Duopoly, a chartered accountant from Ernst& Young and a Cambridge University graduate in economics. She takes the lead on the financial and business strategy at the business. They are focused on incentivizing visitors to explore. Tanuvi, you ready to take us to the top?
Yes.
Okay. What kind of visitors? Is this for B2B SaaS companies to get their visitors or in-person places to get visitors? Who are you focused on?
We're focusing on any venue worldwide. We primarily work with visitor attractions like theme parks, museums, and venues. So we worked with the absolutely fantastic Eden project here in the UK, which receives over 1 million visitors for a pilot test. And we've now recently launched the National Trust Cornish Tin Coast Partnership, which covers 3 World Heritage mining sites, which is absolutely fantastic to be involved with such an exciting project and directing visitors to the least busy areas.
Interesting. So, how did you get this idea? Were you working at one of these parks or doing financial analysis on one of them or what?
Actually, the idea came about because me and my co-founder were so tired of getting stuck in queues. Everyone's been there, they've had an exciting day out. They go to the visitor center and see the sign turn left. You end up following the same set of people around the whole site when actually there's loads of space around the site, but you just didn't know. So we thought, how could we incorporate digital to make the physical experience so much better?
Interesting. And who's paying you? Is it the amusement park or the historical national monument directly?
Yeah, so we charge the venues directly on a SaaS contract.
What do they pay on average per month?
So really it depends on the size of the venue. So we're looking at around £30,000 for a medium-sized venue to even higher depending on the scale. And we're also looking to work with university campuses.
Okay, when you say 30,000 pounds or about $37,000 USD, is that monthly or annually?
That would be annually.
Annually. Okay, and when you say the size of the campus, measured by what, acres or people or what?
Really, it's a number of visitors. So we would normally work with clients that have around more than 250,000 visitors visiting every year.
Okay, interesting. When did you write the first line of code for the platform?
So myself, I'm not a technical co-founder. So we actually used contractors. So it was actually when we did our MVP. So that was probably really early on. And it was a really ugly manual prototype, as many are. You test it out, you try and get out the kinks. And when it's launched to market, it looked a lot better when we had our in-house development team.
When was that though? When did you get started on the code?
So for us, really early on, back in about sort of early 2019.
2019. Okay, very cool. So tell me about your first customer. Who was it and how did you land them?
So really, with the National Trust Tin Coast, they were our first paying client, and we actually had conversations with the project manager early on, and they were really excited what we do. Then COVID hit, and really the whole world went into lockdown, and people couldn't explore at all. So the world was in desperate need of a chance to go out and explore, but actually understand where the busy areas are and make informed decisions of where to go next.
Say that one more time. Your first customer was who?
The National Trust Cornish Tin Coast Partnership.
What is that? Is that a national site?
Yeah, so it's actually a collection of 3 World Heritage mining sites based down in Cornwall, Giva, Levant, and Botalic. And what it allows people to do is sort of explore the rich heritage of the coastline, seeing how the mining took place. And we direct them around, seeing what the really exciting bits are in the area.
Very interesting. Okay, so that was your first customer. How many customers are you serving now today?
So at the moment, we're working with them. We've got a really strong sales pipeline. So we're also working with a local company to develop gamified trails. We're also working with university campuses, which is really exciting. So Falmouth University, our first sort of pilot site, and we're using our same technology to help students and staff navigate around a campus.
So I love pilots. I understand the need to do that to drive paying customers. National Trust Partnership was your first customer paying. How many are paying you though today?
At the moment, those are our only ones, and we've got a
So
strong
two
sales
or
pipeline.
three?
So 3 at the moment.
Okay, got it. Three. So this is great. So how did you guys survive COVID? I mean, you have to deal with cutting expenses. I mean, that's a big deal.
So we were actually really early on. So we only incorporated in October 2019. So we were a team of 2, myself and my co-founder, Erin Morris. So we kept ourselves really lean. We bootstrapped the company. We sort of took trains, slept in very dubious Airbnbs when we went to trade shows in London, the works. But really, we then managed to secure our first seed round of £250,000. And that's when it changed. And we did that during COVID. And the real reason for that was we secured our first paying client during then. But actually, more importantly, there was actually a big need. people suddenly realize they need to understand where their visitors are on site. Knowing that they've just sold 1 million tickets for a day isn't enough. They need to know actually where are people on site. And that's where we can really help. So we managed to get backing from the European Space Agency for our seed round, also another organization in aerospace, and some fantastic angel investors. And that enabled us to grow our team from 2 to 6 and very shortly becoming 7, which really has ramped up our sales pipeline and our sort of development capabilities, which has been hugely exciting.
How much equity did you have to sell to raise the $275,000?
Yeah, so for us, we had to give about 10% equity away. But I would like to say we came from an incubator beforehand. So they had a stake in the business at the very starting point.
I see. So the pre-seed folks took about 10%. How much did the incubator take?
So they took a lot more. It was 24.9% at the beginning.
Okay. And who was that incubator?
So that's actually Launchpad, and they're based down in Cornwall. And really, they were the people that brought Erin and myself together. So they took us as individuals with no business idea, and they gave us a year and funded us for a master's in entrepreneurship and said, can you start up a business?
How much capital did they give you, if any?
So they didn't give us capital per se, but they gave support and expertise. But really, it was down to Erin and myself to do the hard work. And that's where we've got to today.
So Tanuvi, you and Erin own 65% today, and the incubator has 25, and the pre-seed is 10?
Exactly. About 66% between Erin and myself.
Very cool. Okay, what a great story. Now, you're growing today. The team is 6 people. How are you thinking about burn? I mean, can you self-fund off customer revenue yet?
So at the moment for us, actually, we are using our seed money, but for us, we're quite lean. We don't pay for office space. We've sort of adapted to that hybrid working. We've got some free office space at the moment in Cornwall, which is fantastic. It means we can meet once a week. But actually, we work with a developer in the Philippines, which keeps our costs really low. And he's absolutely fantastic, an integral part of the team.
How'd you find him?
Amazing. And I think COVID taught us that we can actually.
But how did you find him?
Oh, sorry. I thought you meant how we find him with how it goes. How we found him was we were advertising the role. He applied and we went through an interview process.
Where did you advertise though?
On LinkedIn, on AngelList, the usual sort of hotspots, but it actually came through a direct connection.
Very interesting. So he's developing. Can I ask what you pay him per month?
Yeah, you can do. So for us, we sort of do a sort of about £2,000 a month, but that is for specific project costs.
I see. Interesting. Okay, so 6 people now today. What do the 6 people do?
So we have a variety. So myself, I take sort of the business and financial side of things. My co-founder is an award-winning film director, so she actually takes the lead on the product design and the UI and UX. We have a sort of lead developer based in the Philippines, which is fantastic, a full stack developer. We also have 2 on-the-ground developers at the moment here in Cornwall. One sort of a mid-level developer sort of taking charge on the back-end side of things. And then we also have more on the app side, front-end development, a junior developer. And we have a sales and marketing lead. And the new team member, hopefully joining us later this month, is a junior marketing assistant, really to ramp up that sales cycle.
So how much are you guys burning per month right now?
So at the moment, it's not too bad. We sort of have about a runway in the bank account, probably for around another 8 to 9 months, actually.
Okay, that's pretty good. So what's the plan then? Do you think you have enough customers to be profitable, or are you going to go raise again?
So I think profitable with startups, that's not the aim. The aim is to get that customer base and get that recurring revenue up. So for us at the moment, it's really pushing on that sales. So we're going to as many trade shows as possible. So we went to the Visitor Attractions Conference down in London. We're going to the Family Attractions Expo in Birmingham. We're actually going to Leisure Up in France as well, a key retail and leisure industry trade show, really to get our name out there. Now that COVID, is allowing travel restrictions to slightly be lifted, that's really important for us to get our name out there. But for us, really, we are going to be looking to do an avocado round that's sort of EIS funded here in the UK, which means sort of that enterprise relief fund, which is sort of quite beneficial to invest in startups.
And what's revenue today?
So revenue today is ongoing. So for us, our focus is actually driving more sales in our pipeline. I would say I'm going to be slightly cautious about saying the revenue to date, but I'm certainly happy to have a conversation with anyone who might be interested further.
You mentioned $3,000 average per month, right? Okay, and you said you have three paying customers today. Can we multiply those together? You're doing about $9,000, $10,000 a month in revenue.
Potentially, but really for us, it's actually driving that future sales pipeline and actually obtaining the data because I think the data insights are really powerful for us.
Well, yeah, I mean, every startup wants to get more sales, so the statement isn't helpful. I'm trying to get a sense of how you've executed so far. So, I mean, are all three of those customers actually paying customers, or are some of them still on a pilot?
So they're all paying customers, which
They
is
are. Okay,
fantastic.
that's great. Well, congratulations. That's a big step to go from nothing to three paying, especially in your space during COVID. So nice work there.
That's fantastic. Thank you.
How do you get your next 100 customers? Is it going to trade shows? Is it ads? Something else?
Yes, and I think that's a challenge for everyone. But for us, we are actually talking to as many people as possible and using our existing clients as case studies. And I think that's really powerful to see the value we can give to them. So, actually showcasing that if we can understand visitors' dwell time and actually say, did you know that if you know that the visitor is spending more time here, they can actually increase the concession we spend on site? That's really powerful. And using incentives to drive them away from the busy areas. So what's quite unique, it's very easy to sort of say, okay, great, there's a big crowd congregating in this area, but what can I do about it? If we can say we can connect to a few visitors and say, do you want to get a half price coffee at the quiet cafe over there? Or equally, if you're at a zoo, that the penguin talk at 3 p.m. is really busy, but 5 p.m. is looking quite quiet. So why don't you get a half price ice cream right now? That's really powerful and can drive an increase in sales. So I think that's really where one of our USPs are.
What's the average visitor to the National Trust Partnership mining site spend per day or per visit on concessions?
So for at the moment, it's been quite a quiet time because now it's winter. And as you can imagine, it's quite rainy and windy. So we don't actually know how much necessarily they spend, but we can definitely see how much footfall we're changing.
Does that mean that they churn during slow times when they're closed?
Sorry, could you repeat the question?
Does that mean they cancel, they stop paying you during slow times when they're closed?
No, we charge on a 12-month base contract. So it means it doesn't matter how many visitors are using it. We want to encourage as many people as possible to keep using the platform.
Yeah, but if someone's paying you for 250,000 visits a year, but COVID or rain or storms or hurricanes or snow, whatever, only means they have 5,000 users per year, they're going to feel like they're paying you for something they're not getting. So how do you manage churn?
Oh no. So we really sort of operate in saying, actually, this is your upfront sort of your 12-month license fee contract based on your expected number of visitors. So really what we can give is your data insights into the visitors that are coming. We purposely didn't want to say, we're going to charge you per visitor because there's an incentive for the venue to say, actually, we don't want everyone to download the app. So there's not going to be that sort of self-promotion to get the most out of the data obtained.
That makes total sense, Tanuvi. This makes I'm excited to see what you guys do over the next year. In the meantime, though, let's wrap up with the famous five. Number one, what's your favorite business book?
My favorite business book? Oh my gosh, this is quite a hard one. There's just so many. Wouldn't say it's an orthodox one, but Nudge by Thaler and Sunstein is one of my core principles because it's all about behavioral science, and that's what I love.
Number two, is there a founder you're following or studying?
Yes, I think Nick Telson is amazing. Design My Night. I think it's such an amazing story. And I think for us, just learning more about that has been great.
Number three, what's your favorite online tool for building data duopoly?
Favorite online tool by far, I've really found that two things. Marvel, as non-technical co-founders, prototyping has been so useful. And Trello, I mean, everyone uses it just to help organizing the team.
Tanuvi, what's your situation? How many hours of sleep do you get every night?
Not too many, but I love what I do. And I wouldn't be doing what I do unless I love it.
What do you average though? How many?
Hours of sleep, probably pretty good. Definitely 8 to 9.
8 to 9. Okay. And what's your situation? Married, single, kids?
I'm a single graduate and loving my business.
Okay. Not married, no kiddos. Do you mind me asking how old you are?
Yeah, I'm 27 years old.
Last question. What's something you wish you knew when you were 20?
To have the confidence to just do it, and don't necessarily go for a graduate role.
Guys, she joined an accelerator back in 2019 who helped her found her co-founder, Aaron. They own 65% today, and the incubator owns 25%. And they raised a seed round selling 10% of the business as they scale data duopoly, an easy way for historical sites or physical attractions like amusement parks to understand where visitors are spending time, how to increase concession venue, and how to drive foot traffic to less popular but very valuable areas. They have 3 paying customers today looking to scale with their team of 6 over the next 12 months. Tanuvi, thank you for taking us to the top.
Thank you very much.
One more thing before you go. We have a brand new show every Thursday at 1 p.m. Central. It's called Shark Tank for SaaS. We call it Deal or Bust. One founder comes on, 3 hungry buyers, they try and do a deal live, and the founder shares back-end dashboards, their expenses, their revenue, ARPU, CAC, LTV, you name it, they share it. And the buyers try and make a deal live. It is fun to watch every Thursday, 1 p.m. Central. Additionally, remember, these recorded founder interviews go live. We release them here on YouTube every day at 2 p.m. Central. To make sure you don't miss any of that, make sure you click the subscribe button below here on YouTube, the big red button, and then click the little bell notification to make sure you get notifications when we do go live. I wouldn't want you to miss breaking news in the SaaS world, whether it's an acquisition, a big fundraise, a big sale, a big profitability statement, or something else. I don't want you to miss it. Additionally, if you want to take this conversation deeper and further, we have by far the largest private Slack community for B2B SaaS founders. You want to get in there. We've probably talked about your tool if you're running a company or your firm if you're investing. You can go in there and quickly search and see what people are saying. Sign up for that at nathanlatka.com/Slack. In the meantime, I'm hanging out with you here on YouTube. I'll be in the comments for the next 30 minutes. Feel free to let me know what you thought about this episode. And if you enjoyed it, click the thumbs up. We get a lot of haters that are mad at how aggressive I am on these shows, but I do it so that we can all learn. We have to counter those people. We got to push them away. Click the thumbs up below to counter them and know that I appreciate your guys' support. All right, I'll be in the comments. See ya.